Okay, I am back in business, and ain't it great? Let the good times roll. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Attorney Audits Agitators. Joe Palmetto, Joe the lawyer here, waiting for my friends to rejoin me in the live stream. We had a little problems with sound. I don't know what the problems were. What it tells me is I need to buck up, spend some money, get some better equipment, because I'm just sitting here recording on my my laptop, and I've never had a problem before. But to Gary, CW, how you guys doing? Dova King and Sean Z, hello everyone. Hello Aaron. Hello Adam. Thank you for joining me. Adam, you seen any sovereign citizens down at the fire station lately? I am back. I believe it must have been the internet connection. I angered the queen. I angered the YouTube gods or the YouTube nerds that run us. It had to have been the internet connection. I've never really had a problem like that with sound before, and I believe it was likely the internet connection. My head is I believe it likely was the internet connection. I'm going to get everybody in here, and then I'm going to tell you the story about how I suffered this terrible, fateful injury. It's a terrible, terrible injury. I will tell everybody as soon as I get to 20 or 25. It was Devin casting some voodoo on you. You know, the funniest thing about Devin is he did that video on me where he just like froze a picture of my screen. It's like, bro, step up your game at least. And then you just like called me names for like 30 minutes straight. Like, it didn't make any sense. Hey Joe, what you doing with that sword in your hands? Hey Joe, what you doing with that sword in your hands? Chief Tuttle, Country Cop, how you doing, sir? Everybody, Chief Tuttle, good friend of mine. Most of you know him. We hang around the same YouTube channels. Go to his channel, subscribe, watch some of his videos, give him a chance. Hey, Vilified, thank you very much for the $2. I truly appreciate it. Every penny I get on here goes to helping me maintain this show and make more videos, so I appreciate your support. I still want to come on your channel. I haven't been following my emails lately. I understand that, so I don't know if you got back to me, but if you did and you want me to come on, I'm more than happy to set something up. Steve Parsons, what's up, brother? Tom Castro, listen, I don't have to claim it was a Raiders fan. I know it was a Raiders fan. All right, Tom. All right. I saw the Raiders got the best uniform in the league. It's too bad they don't have one of the best teams in the league. They continue to stink and underperform. But Tom, I agree with you. They've got a great uniform this year. Everybody, listen, if you like hockey and you look at, you want to see it stand. Yep, there they are. There they are. Penguins hockey. Okay. Penguins hockey. Here we go. Here it comes. Anytime you email me again, I would be glad to have you. Sounds good, Vilified. I will. Joe's here. I'm glad you got your Dr. Pepper and the Dollar Shave Club. I belong to Harry's. See, that's the thing, though. It's a little too high. Joe says my name in his sleep. Look, I did when I rolled out of bed this morning. Auditors, what? And yeah, that picture. Dale, thank you very much. Keep up the great work. I will. I haven't really been working out. I don't know. Not really, Eunice, but thanks. I mean, if I got guns, I got guns. What can I say? I mean, for some people, the guns come naturally. You know what I mean? Taze, thank you very much, sir, for the $5. I will say your name in my sleep tonight for sure. And the fact that we talked about it, as you guys know, makes it even more likely. And Dale Tiesenhausen, did I say your name correctly? I don't know if I did. Thank you very much, Dale. I truly appreciate the $2.99. Much appreciated. No, so what happened was the other day I was sitting in the courthouse, and we're all on, there's all social distancing going on, and I'm wearing a mask, and sometimes when the mask is up here, it blocks your vision a little bit, because normally I'm a jujitsu master. Just kidding, I'm a white belt, but I've been to jujitsu. I'm a white belt. I got a couple stripes. Anyway, normally I'm a jujitsu master, and I'm sitting in court, and out of the corner of my eye, I heard someone yell, you work for the king. You are sworn to the king. And I turned my head and I looked, and a samurai sword was coming down at me, and I swung my head back like this, and it caught me. It caught a little nick. And then I used my jujitsu skills, and a couple of the sheriff's constables helped me, and we wrestled this guy to the ground. And we said, "What are you doing? Why are you doing this?" And he goes, "I'm a sovereign citizen. I watched your show, and I'm out for you. I'm out for you." Now that is a fake story, okay? That is a fake story, but it could be true. It could be true. All right. Did everybody see the story about the attorney who very, very sad and tragic story about the attorney who went and shot the son of the federal court judge and the husband, and went and killed himself? People in this business are nuts, man. People in this business are nuts. 99, Joe Dono. Thank you very much, sir. One of my best, longest, and greatest supporters. I hope you enjoyed the story. No, I wasn't attacked by a sovereign citizen, but it could have happened. We saw the sovereign citizen attacked by the sword. We saw a sovereign citizen attacked by the sword. Do you know what this actually is? Okay, I'll tell you what I believe this is. And I believe what it is a tag, or somebody called it a tag, or like a mole, or just like a little skin growth. All right. And I've had it for about a year or longer, maybe. But it's very, very red. So it's like filled with blood. You guys can go back, watch my other. It's not acne, man. It's not, Aaron. So because I get acne, I pop it, boom, it's gone. This thing has been on my face for like a year. And I kind of got annoyed one day, and I wasn't even thinking about it, and boom, I popped it. "Hey, Edward, thank you for joining me. I got the new mic. We got noise back up. It must have been a bad internet connection. I appreciate the $5. So it was like this little blood blister, and I was messing with it, boom, and I popped it, okay? And it bled a little bit, and I put some hydrogen peroxide on it like I would do with zits, all right? But it didn't go away. It healed back up just like it was, but apparently it was still weak. So the other night, last night, I took a shower at night, and I took a towel and I rubbed my towel, and I pulled my towel away like this, and it was freaking covered in blood. Can't believe I'm telling this story. It was covered in blood, okay? And I look in the mirror, and there's blood streaming down my face like this, streaming. So I wiped it off, and I was like, man, I gotta, boom. So I put this on it. This is to remind me not to rub it or accidentally pop it again. I wasn't attacked by a sovereign citizen. But thank you, everybody, for joining me tonight. Joe Palmetto, Joe the lawyer, attorney, audits, agitators. I know I've been extremely busy lately. In the day, I am defending my clients, keeping innocent people out of jail, okay, and keeping mostly innocent people out of jail, helping people in their family law cases, which I've been getting more and more into, and doing personal injury litigation and a whole bunch of attorney stuff. All right. So in the day, I defend people from injustice. Okay. And then at night, I fight for justice when I come on here and I slam the sovereign citizens. You know what that makes me? That doesn't make me an attorney. That makes me Daredevil. Everybody realize Daredevil, that's the funniest and most interesting part about the show is if you watch Daredevil, if you read the comic book, I'm going to go on a tangent a little bit here. Daredevil, Matt Murdock by day was a a defense attorney. Okay, Murdoch and Murdoch, or whoever his buddy is, they have this little law practice. And so Murdoch by day is like, he's like Perry Mason, right? He's defending people. But the funny thing about Matt Murdoch is that every one of his clients are innocent. Every one of his clients are innocent. So every episode, he gets a new client on the show. And every time they're innocent. We don't see the guilty clients. Like I said, I'm only defending the innocent as well. So he gets every one of his clients is innocent. And it's just it's amazing. And then at night he turns into Daredevil and he fights crime. He's the other side of the coin. So he's working for justice on both sides, right? He's putting the guilty in jail and keeping the innocent out of jail. And that's what I do as well. Not Ben Affleck. Not Ben Affleck. Not Ben Affleck. This is the Netflix Daredevil, and I don't know who the actor was who played Daredevil. Amen. Fight for American rights. Yeah, it was a blood blister on my face. Chief Tuttle, thank you very much, sir. Amen, sir. You were out there putting the bad guys in jail. You're protecting innocent Americans as an officer of the law, enforcing the laws. Here's the thing with law enforcement. There is no justice system without law enforcement. There is no justice system without law enforcement, okay? The only reason judges have power or court orders have power is because there is the threat of force behind it. Because there is the threat of force behind it. And more than anything, what we need in this country and in this world are people like Chief Tuttle, police officers who out there do the best they can, okay, to enforce the laws and bring about justice. That's one of the most important things that this world needs. So that's where I stand, in case you're wondering. Perry Mason lost 2 cases. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. You're telling me he lost 2? I don't believe he ever lost a case. I do not believe he ever lost a case. They'd never let me sit for the case, though. Brooke, you just have to be quiet and nod your head and say what they want. And you might get on there. You might get on there, tell the truth, but, you don't have to expound. I think Joe's been on a Netflix binge. I have been, Vilify. I have been. Connecticut is not as normal as people think it is. So, excuse me. Faster than a soft sit's mouth. I try, I try. Someday I'll go after some Moors again, and we'll do it. I'll have a better debate. Perry Mason did lose 2 cases. Well, okay, nobody's perfect. Nobody's perfect. But back to the sovereign citizen who killed his landlord with a samurai sword. All right. Number 1, I am also a landlord. This wonderful house that you see me living in here, this is one of the rooms in my house, is a duplex, and I rent the other half out to a tenant, and I have a couple other properties with tenants in them. These wonderful properties, I am a landlord, and the rage against landlords is real. The rage against landlords is real. But I like to think I'm a pretty cool landlord, though I imagine every landlord thinks that. So I don't really know. Ask my tenants. But, this guy tweaking out, going all sovereign citizen and chopping off his head. So I got a lot to say about that. I have a lot to say about the samurai swords and the chopping off of people's heads. Because, as you guys know, and you see here, this is my little Buddha, and this is my Chinese terracotta warrior. I lived in Japan for 2.5 years. Now I do not have a samurai sword. I do not have one. But I lived in Japan for 2.5 years. But everybody, since you came here for one reason or another, to see my scar and hear the story, to talk about sovereign citizens, to learn about the law, or just to kill time, regardless, we're all here. We are all friends. I want to thank everybody for coming in here and supporting me. But but raise your cup, your glass in the air. We're going to do a same time sip. Nostrovia, salute, salute. What do they say? Danka. That's not it. Kampai in Japan. It tastes better when we sip together. Cheers. I just went for a pretty long walk, so I'm feeling that tasted good. Prost, prost in Dutch. That's what I came for. Murders. You came to the right place, Brooke. You came to the right place. So, I got a lot of comments on that last video, which I thought were fun, and I like that story was interesting to me because I'm a big Japan buff and samurai swords, and I'm also a sovereign citizen buff. So that story combined two things I'm interested in: sovereign citizens, samurai swords. So the typical, as many of you may know, the typical samurai sword that people put on their walls, katanas, are not real swords. Even if they were or are real metal, they are extremely blunt, right? Those are extremely blunt. They're not sharpened. And if you have a very, very sharp samurai sword, you would still need to know what you're doing, but you could take someone's head off in one cut, right? In one cut. And the samurai, as many of you know, I'm absolutely a Penguins fan. The Habs can suck it. But as many of you may or may not know, the samurai were extremely skilled swordsmen. They used katanas. Their blades were extremely sharp, to the point that legends say that you could drop a piece of hair on the sharpened portion of a samurai sword, and it could cut the hair in half. Okay. So the samurai used to commit, as you may know, seppuku, or harakiri, ritual suicide. And the procedure in medieval samurai times, which I would say really the height of the samurai was probably between the years like 1500 to like 1800, okay, was really the samurai period, the Tokugawa period in Japan. And the samurai and the local lords ran the country, right? They ran shit. So, but if a samurai was dishonored in any way, or perhaps captured in battle, and he was going to, he was perhaps ordered by his lord to commit seppuku. The ritual was, and if you've seen The Last Samurai, which is not historically accurate but is extremely entertaining, you've seen The Last Samurai, what the samurai would do is they would take a sword and they cut across their stomach, and then another samurai, the executioner, would take the head off with one swipe. That was seppuku. Anyway, with a very sharp samurai sword, you could take someone's head off one swipe, especially if you know what you're doing. But if you don't know what you're doing and you don't have a sharpened sword, there's no way you're taking someone's head off in one swipe. And that's what brings me to this sovereign citizen who cut his landlord's head off. My question is, and this wasn't in any of the stories, that could have been a very, very brutal death. Okay, very, very brutal, because you wouldn't be cutting his head off with a fake samurai sword or a slightly sharpened. It would be hacking. He would be hacking his head off. So it was just ridiculous and insane. So I had to cover that story. And I had to give you guys my 2 cents right there, right? About samurai swords, sharpened samurai swords, and ritual suicide. It could have been a very brutal and not so fast death for the poor gentleman who was murdered by a sovereign citizen. And they're nuts. I'm waiting for a big story to blow up with sovereign citizens. I think it's going to come, like a big story. Like they're going to, I don't know why. It's just, the world is crazy right now. Hey, Kevin. Hey, Beverly. Hey, Lynn. Sorry, I'm eating some Reese's Pieces. Have you ever cut the head of a chicken off? No, I have not. I have not. So my audio is still not synced. Is that true for everybody or just Taze? I don't know what to say. I'm just screwed today. Okay. I just went for a long walk, so I'm craving sugar and liquids. So, my audio is way off. Is it off for everyone? Da-da-da-da. Well, I guess 2 minutes is tolerable. I don't know what to say, everybody. I tried. I can't fix it. It's my internet connection. There's nothing I can do about it here and now, so we're just gonna have to roll with it. But thank you for letting me know. Way too many legends about katanas, but seriously, this POS must have had a good blade. Thank you, Andrew, for the $5. Yeah, sorry, I didn't want to blow up my feed with katana stories, but I got a lot of them. Anything else anybody wants to talk about today? I could chat about pretty much whatever that you want to talk about. Yeah, I can't help that I'm not synced. We already tried once. Your lips are out of sync. Watashi no namae wa Jo desu. Genki desu ka? I can speak a little bit of Japanese. My accent's probably way off, but I can speak a little bit. I think anything used. So that goes back to the story. This was a story that was popular, I believe, a couple years ago. This has happened several times where the police walk in. So there was a story. Let me know if you guys saw this, where the police were called and they walked into like a party or something. I may be wrong on the exact facts here, but they walked into a party and there was a dude holding a samurai sword, one of those fake katanas, over someone's head, and boom, the cop shot him. Now, here's the thing. If that's a real, like the officer walks in, he doesn't know if that's a real sword or a fake sword. If that's a real sword and he's about to bring it down on someone, and again, the officer doesn't know if he's serious or playing, blah, 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 and the cop takes a shot, boom. But what if it was real? What if it was real? Life is gray, man. Life is gray. Listen, everybody, switch your accounts or log out and log back in, and maybe you'll get in sync with me. I don't know why it's not in sync. I can't help you. So, Chief, we're gonna get together and we're gonna get some permanis very soon. Very soon. I'm seriously so busy that my head's spinning. And I hired another assistant. So I have 2 assistants at my law practice now, and I could still work 24 hours a day. So let me make a note here. Oh, by the way, everyone, I got another channel as well, which I'm starting to broadcast a little bit more on, and that's called Joe the Lawyer. So check it out, Google it, find my other channel, Joe the Lawyer. Trying to get to 1,000 subs over there, trying to get to 10,000 here. I'm at 9,700. I had some people hit me up for hitting me up for merchandise. When I get to 10,000, YouTube sets up a merchandise store for me. And I don't really care if I make money off it. So I'm going to make it a low price so that people will buy it and have my stuff and think it's cool. I do make a little bit of money off my book, though, I got a Facebook message the other day from somebody who said that I advertised my book too much. They said, well, here's the thing. Here's what happened. I know in one of my videos, I said, well, I'm sort of a shameless promoter. And then he sent me a message on Facebook and said too much shameless promoting. Don't use my own words against me. Don't use my own word. Come on, come up with something original. Come up with something original if you're going to insult me. So I thought that was funny. But yeah, check out my channel, Joe the Lawyer. Let's see if I can post the link for it. I'm trying to get to 1,000 subs over there. And it can be kind of boring for a lot of people. It's just like lawyer talk, but I think it's interesting, and I'm going to try to make it more interesting as time goes on. But I really appreciate the subscription at the very least, and just see if you like it. You know, if you don't like it, don't watch. I don't want you to watch anything you don't like. Bum, 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 bum. How many sword cases do you handle in Pittsburgh? I've never handled, I'm trying, I feel like I had a sword case. Mostly guns and knives. I have had many stabbing cases. I've had multiple stabbing cases. And I've had some interesting stabbing cases too. I had a stabbing case where a man was attacking a woman. And so the story went, okay, we worked this case out. So the story went, the man was coming after the woman, and the man was screaming, and the woman had a knife like this, okay, and the man impaled himself on the knife, okay. She's defending herself like this, and he comes at her, and he partially impales himself on the knife. And it damaged his lung. It went in and it damaged his lung. And he was in pretty bad shape. And I believe later on he passed away. So a good defense to stabbing a dude. Well, everybody, you know the good defense to stabbing a dude. It is self-defense. That's the only good defense to stabbing a dude. Or defense of others. Defense of others. I actually don't know the law by heart when it comes to defense of others. I've read it up on it before, but I can't remember. I'd have to look into it. But more or less, if somebody is using deadly force against someone else, you can use deadly force to protect them. I believe you can put yourself into the shoes. I believe, don't quote me on the law here. I believe you can put yourself into the shoes of the person who was being attacked. And if that person would have reasonably been in fear for their life, okay, or serious bodily injury, then a third party standing away, boom, can take that person out, can use deadly force to stop the deadly force. Defense of others is a legitimate defense to a crime. Don't quote me on exactly what it is or what it means, but I promise you, it exists in all 50 states. Defense of others. So you have self-defense, you have defense of others. And so that client who got into that tizzy with the male was a female, and the male came. Well, I'll tell you what happened. Both parties, there were no witnesses to this except for the people involved, right? So a man and a woman in a house alone, they start fighting. Nobody sees what happens. There's no third party witnesses. All right. So what the police do in the prosecutor's office is they charge both parties. Well, what happens? Does anybody here know? Okay, if you have two people accused of a crime, all right, and the only witnesses is the other person who was accused of the crime. Does anybody know what happens, or what I'll give you a clue, what rights are invoked in that situation? You nailed it, Teresa. So if you have two people, person A, person B, person A, person B. Person A is the only witness to the crime that person B allegedly committed. However, person A is also accused of a crime from the same transaction of facts. Well, therefore, person A can invoke their Fifth Amendment right to not self-incriminate themselves, to stay silent, and then the prosecution loses their only witness against person B. And if the same is true of person B in regards to the criminal conduct of person A, person B, who's also accused of a crime can invoke their Fifth Amendment right to stay silent and not self-incriminate. And then poof, the prosecution also loses this witness. So you have two crimes and two witnesses, but neither witness can talk. What do you have? Zero crimes. You have no crimes. Poof, they're gone. So in that particular case, I got the case dismissed. I can tell you one of the parties, and it wasn't my party, because the guy got stabbed. He was salty. Well, look, I wasn't there. He was salty. And he didn't really want to just drop the case, but he realized that he could also go to jail. If we had a trial with those two, the jury might just pick one of them and be like, you did it, you're guilty, you're going to jail, boom. Or a judge would do the same. The other person gets off scot-free. Well, if one person, they decided they both would walk, let bygones be bygones. At the time, the gentleman who'd been stabbed was doing okay physically. I don't know. He later passed away, but I don't know if it was because of the stabbing. So that was interesting. Someone in here asked me, were they married? They were not married, but they were in a intimate, long-term relationship. What did I do? How did you celebrate the first trial that you won? The funny thing is, I didn't go out and do anything crazy, but this is true of a lot of areas in life. But I can tell you, when I won the first trial that I won, which was also perhaps the biggest deal, was my client was facing, we're talking 6, 7, 8 years minimum. 6, 7, 8 years minimum if he lost. I mean, he could have got a 10 to 20. He could have got launched in the state prison, and I won that trial. And I didn't do anything extra special to celebrate, but man, I was on cloud 9 for like 3 days. Like, it just felt really, really good. So, it feels good to be justified, and losing sucks, losing sucks. But one thing about that case was I kind of expected to win. I think your expectations have a lot to do with it. Is the sound really that bad? Is it really that bad? I'm sorry. Maybe we'll cut it short and I'll try another night later in the week. I apologize, everybody. I don't know why the sound is what it is. Hey, Catnat. Hey, Starscream. Thank you very much for the comments. Liz, was that the usual? Joe went out with the other British lords. Well, now that you ask, the Queen of England gave me a call, and we had a video conference where we drank some tea and ate some crumpets. It was a fantastic time. One question I've gotten in the last couple of weeks twice was people have said to me, what's the difference between an attorney and a lawyer? And the one person was from Russia, and the other person was America. I can understand in Russia. And I asked this person from Russia, I said, and they asked me what I do. And I said, I'm a criminal defense attorney. And they looked at me funny. And I said, do you have defense attorneys in Russia? And she seemed to imply that there's only one lawyer in criminal cases in Russia. And if there's only one lawyer, that lawyer is likely a prosecutor. So I don't know. What was your celebration like after? I just said it, Tom. I just said it. Can everybody hear me? Sounds good. Sound is great. Okay. Eunice Bloom, what are you serious about, Eunice? But you have to end by pointing to the sky and yelling, Godzilla in Soviet Russia. Law objects to you. Nostrovia. Ever come across a Sov sit and trial? I have not. Yeah, I've seen sovereign citizens at court hearings, like bond court. I've seen them at bond court. That's why. Listen, that's how I started this channel, everybody. I made a channel called Joe Palmetto Law Show, and I was just talking about legal stuff, all right? And I brought up sovereign citizens one day because I'd seen them in court when I was a public defender in law school. Excuse me. I saw them in court. And I was like, what the hell is this guy talking about? Like, it blew me away. This was 10 years ago. And I was like, what is he talking about? I couldn't believe it. And so when I made the Joe Palmetto Law Show, I brought it up, and I brought it up, and somebody commented, and then I made it a 20-minute video on why the sovereign citizen argument does not work. If you guys want to see, a lot of you weren't with me back then, but if you want to go back, I started this channel about a year and a half ago. I'm serious. Go back through my old videos, and you'll find I made a video called Why the Sovereign Citizen Argument Doesn't Work. And I made that video, and I got 1,000 hits. Like the next day, I got like 1,000 views. And then I started to get people, and a lot of you joined me after that. But I've seen them in court. It was so long ago, I can't remember. But it was only like once or twice, and it's been a long time. I haven't encountered them again. But after I saw them in court, I started Googling them and looking them up and reading about them. So I had an idea of what they were. Kind of like you guys, you end up down this rabbit hole. So I've known and been aware of sovereign citizens for many, many years. But I haven't defended one in court because they don't hire attorneys. They don't allow us to defend them. The person to talk to would be a prosecutor, because the prosecutors still have to prosecute cases against sovereign citizens. And they hate it because the sovereign citizen just tries to wear them down with paperwork. But I can tell you, it almost never works out in the sovereign citizen's favor. It just does not. If you were asked to defend a sov cit, would you have a mental health eval done? Listen, here's what I'll tell you. I am the perfect person in a way, maybe not, but I would defend a sovereign citizen, but they would have to accept my representation on the same terms of everybody else. I would say, look, you may have your beliefs, because listen, I've represented people with some weird beliefs. Anyway, that aside, I'd say I would have your beliefs, but if I'm going to be your lawyer, you have to listen to me, and you can disagree with me and we can have discussions over strategy. All right. But ultimately, you have to take my advice and let me speak to the court and file motions as I see fit. And if someone can't agree to those simple terms, I can't be their lawyer, whether they're a sovereign citizen or not. However, if they happen to be a sovereign citizen and they agree to those terms, I would happily defend them. Now, at the end, I would say to them, I would say, look, dude, I'd say, you got to read my book. I'd give them a copy of my book. I'd say, you got to read the book. Get off that, okay? Get off that drug. Get off that operating system, the sovereign citizen nonsense. That's how I found Joe. I had to find out what happens to sov cits in court. See what I mean? You go down the rabbit hole. I went down this rabbit hole 9 years ago. And then I just sort of forgot about them. And then sometimes me and my attorney friends would bring them up and have a quick laugh or something. And then I made this YouTube channel, and I was talking about random law stuff, and I mentioned sovereign citizens in one context, and somebody in the comments said, hey, Joe, can you make a video on sovereign citizens? And so I did a little research, and that I learned a little more about the movement, and then I made a video. Hey, Chief, thank you very much for the $5. I appreciate it, sir. I am going to keep it up. I think we're doing a good thing. Listen, this is a good thing because, number one, it's fun. Number two, it's entertaining. And number three, I do think by mocking the sovereign citizen movement, we take some of the energy out of it. Of course, it's going to anger a lot of people, but I do think the people that watch my videos or Vilified's videos or Van's videos or Degeneration Nation, everybody watch those videos, they're going to say, they're going to be like, these guys are nuts. And some of these people might be thinking, oh, because these people go down these rabbit holes now. Oh, this sovereign citizen stuff is real. Well, maybe they'll come across one of my videos or one of Degen's videos or one of Chuck's videos, right? And say, whoa, okay, this is loony. So I understand we're not probably going to change the minds of the hardcore sovereign citizens or the people that are truly committed and further along. But I do think we can help some people not be de-radicalized by putting an opposite message out there. YouTube recommended since I follow Antifa. Who said that? David. YouTube recommended me or sovereign citizens? Well, Adam, that's a good question. How many times do they teach you the Bill of Rights in law school? So, 1 second. I don't believe at any time we were ever required to actually just read the Bill of Rights. Okay. But we learn the Bill of Rights through the study of the Supreme Court case law and jurisprudence, et cetera, et cetera. Article 4, Amendment 1. Freedom of speech, religion, and church estates. You can see here, this is kind of cute. Go through my law school notes here, and I don't know if you can see that. Freedom, speech, religion, Second Amendment, right to bear arms, Third Amendment, etc. So actually, we did go through this in law school. We did go through this. Amendment 3, no quartering, unreasonable search and seizure, double jeopardy, right to remain silent, due process, eminent domain, speedy trial, right to a jury, impartial jury, no excessive bail or unusual punishments, powers not in the Constitution delegated to the states. So what we did is we don't actually learn, it's not like you have to memorize the Bill of Rights. Like, we read case law. Okay, it's pretty much every Supreme Court case, one way or another, is going to invoke the United States Constitution. Okay, so you learn the Constitution through learning the case law. Now, not every attorney is required to be a specialist in any particular area of the Constitution. And some areas of law, like family law, for example, rarely invoke the Constitution, okay? But you have to take 1 year of constitutional law in law school, and every lawyer is going to have some sort of general understanding about the Constitution. Knowing the exact language, I'm not saying that it's not important. It is important, but understanding how the case law has interpreted it and what rights, and so you want to know where the rubber meets the road. Okay, it's one thing to just say, even the right to bear arms, a well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. Even that is, there's in any language, in the written language, there's a degree of interpretation that is required. Okay, and so by learning the case law, you will learn the Constitution. Okay, and I've gone through, we basically have to read this entire book. Not all of it. Okay. I mean, if you go through here, here's how law school works. I know you're curious. You guys are dying to hear this. But you'll be assigned like 30 to 40 to maybe like 50 pages of reading for a class. And the professor will tell you beforehand, look, you can skip a couple of these parts because they're such unique, small, very not often used areas of law, right? Like this case it's never going to be practical. Sometimes it can help balance out your understanding, but they understand that not every single constitutional law case needs to be taught to a law student, okay? Because the goal of law school is not to make you into a legal scholar on the Constitution. It's to give you a general understanding of the Constitution so that you can conduct yourself as an attorney. And so I probably read 75% of this book. Okay. Plus we buy horn books. Horn books are books that attorneys wrote to help you understand and interpret this and to condense it all so that you know what you need to know for the bar exam or to pass your exams. So I hope that answers your question. Kevin, in as much as lawn darts are a weapon, if used against someone, a slingshot is considered a firearm by many jurisdictions. Well, I can tell you this, Barbecue Bob, I'm pretty sure in Pennsylvania that a firearm, so for the purpose of certain people who are convicted of certain crimes, in Pennsylvania, you're looking at misdemeanor 1s or higher. So any felony or misdemeanor 1 is going to make you a person not to possess a firearm. A firearm in Pennsylvania requires an explosion. So if you are a person not to possess, you can carry a crossbow or a bow and arrow and probably a slingshot. So that's just for the purposes of possession. A firearm could have different legal interpretations in different contexts. That's how crazy it gets. That's why you need a lawyer. But Pennsylvania, a firearm requires an explosion within the device itself. Because, and I'll tell you why I know this. I have Westlaw, Brooke. I have it, Brooke. Here's why I know this. Because I had someone who became a person not to possess. And he was a farmer, and he was very concerned with killing varmints on his property. And he asked me if he could still use an airsoft gun to kill groundhogs. And it turns out he can. Bah, 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 bah. Taze, what is that? What is that, Taze? I don't even want to know what that is, man. How can you be a fan of a team named after a Batman villain? Well, Tom, because they're good. Stanley Cup, baby. Stanley Cups. I'd rather pass the bar exam, but I'm more likely to pass a kidney stone. Well, I don't know if you guys realize, a lot of states right now, due to coronavirus, are reconsidering the bar exam. So some states are considering not even requiring students who graduated this year to take the bar exam. Some states, this is what I think is the best compromise, are giving them temporary licenses so that they can work at law firms and make a living until they can go and pass the bar exam. And then some states are doing a bar exam online. So I don't know. It's going to be interesting. Yeah, brass knuckles are just straight up illegal in certain states. There's nothing to do with a firearm. They're just considered illegal. With COVID, to give you a bar license once you read through all Black's law. Liz D, that's something a sovereign citizen would say. I don't know which version is the most recent, but I had one. I have a copy. I had a law professor. It was like being in grade school. He just made us read and write definitions. And I'm telling you, I may have learned more doing that than I did reading all that crappy case law I just showed you. Yeah, the definition of a weapon, I believe it's most likely going to depend on the usage. Sorry, these are addictive. Anything else you guys want to talk about? 10 more minutes here. I'll take questions. Boom. I'm trying to. You should share with the rest of the class. You guys want to Reese's Pieces? Drive to Pittsburgh. I'll hook you up. Me and the chief are going to go to Permani's. You want to know what a Permani sandwich is? It's the best sandwich in the country. They put on it. It's got Mancini's Italian bread, which is a famous Italian bread made around Pittsburgh. You pick your meat, your protein, okay? So you can get capicola, you can get steak, you can get ham, whatever you want. They put cheese on it, and then they put coleslaw, vinegar-style coleslaw, and French fries. And let me tell you, it's the best sandwich that you will ever have. The best sandwich you will ever have. So good. Devin Rayford Bay threats on YouTube, are they illegal? They may be, Joe Dono, but the police do not really take online threats that seriously just because there's so many of them. So they may be illegal if he makes a specific threat to a specific person. I mean, terroristic threats is an illegal law in Pennsylvania. And some of the things he said may actually meet the definition of that. But it doesn't mean the police are really going to go because they kind of look at the internet. They're like, they don't think they're serious maybe. Or they just don't have the resources to deal with it. Pastrami is good. So I've been watching, you got to mention the Netflix. I haven't watched Daredevil in a while, though I did really like that series. The new Unsolved Mysteries on Netflix. Very good. Very good. I'm on episode 4. I'm telling you, every episode, the way they put it together, fantastic show. I could watch an episode of Unsolved Mysteries every day for the rest of my life. Also, watch The Business of Drugs. Watch The Business of Drugs on Netflix. I watched the first 2 episodes. I think the first one is on cocaine, and then they did one on ecstasy. The last one is on opiates and heroin. And I skipped to that one because it features Washington, PA. Washington, PA is a town. Well, I guess it was at one point a city. I would call it more of a town. It's about 45 minutes south of Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh's in Allegheny County. Washington, PA is the county seat, the capital of the county, of the county of Washington. So Washington, PA in Washington County, which is just south of Pittsburgh, western Pennsylvania. And the show talks about the impact of the opioid crisis, especially on Pennsylvania, Ohio, and West Virginia, tri-state area. I'm right here in the middle of it, Pittsburgh. Ohio's especially been hit hard, but it was funny to watch because they show the courthouse in Washington. It's a courthouse I go to often. They interview an addict and a drug dealer and some attorneys. I actually don't know the attorney that they interview, but it's all in PA. It's all Western PA. It's just south of Pittsburgh. All the counties around Pittsburgh have been devastated by the opioid crisis. Just devastated. One time I went to Butler County, which is north of Pittsburgh, and there's this parking lot across from the courthouse that I park in. And I pull into the parking lot, and there's a pickup truck. Actually, I was leaving court. I'm getting in the car, and there's a pickup truck. And I look in the pickup truck, and some dude was shooting, like he had tied a strap on to his arm or whatever, and was holding it in his mouth and fucking shooting heroin. Like it was like he didn't give a flying fuck. You know, I'm looking right at him. Excuse my language today. I'm looking right at him, and he's shooting heroin. And I'm like, damn, dude, like right there in the parking lot across from the courthouse. This guy was probably coming from court or probation, okay? And then he was shooting heroin in the car next to an attorney. So this area has been hit really, really tough. Really tough. Boom, boom, boom. I have a cat slave. I have a friend who has set up his spare bedroom as a shrine to the Steelers. He is otherwise a very intelligent person. Listen, he's an extremely intelligent person, and his choice of football teams shows his intelligence because intelligent people pick winners, all right? Why would you pick a loser? Why would you pick a losing team? Okay, why would you pick a losing? Look, boom, the Pittsburgh Penguins. See this little penguin playing hockey? Yeah, he's good. He is good. So, see, Pittsburgh's blessed and we're cursed. We are blessed with perhaps the best football dynasty of all time and one of the best hockey dynasties of all time. Two of the best franchises in those sports. And then we have the Pirates. We have the Major League Baseball Pirates. They are basically a minor league team. They're terrible. And they're going to have a really bad season this year. And the reason I knew that before they came into the year was because they were bad last year, and then they lost their three best players and didn't pick anybody up to replace them. All football suck. Even God doesn't like the Steelers. Wrong, not a brat. Wrong. God blesses the Steelers. God blesses the Steelers. You did, Megan. You just came late. Thanks for joining me. Everybody, please sign up, subscribe to Joe the Lawyer right here. I just dropped it. Boom. Sign up to my other channel, Joe the Lawyer. I missed the Common Sense Academy. Maybe I should go back. And nobody likes this new name. I thought it was better. Maybe I'll go back to Common Sense Academy. Sign up to my other channel, everybody. Maybe Common Sense Academy will be back soon. Thank you, everyone, for joining. Megan, you did miss it. You're late. I'm tired. You guys, you know, look, I'm getting blood blisters on my face. I'm tired at 9. Next thing you know, you'll be rolling me out in a wheelchair or something. All right, I'm gonna head to bed. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Thank you for sticking with me. I know my content production has been down. My law firm has been keeping me extremely, extremely busy. Megan, you got to watch the beginning to hear the face story. Go back to the beginning. In the first 15 minutes, I explain what happened. My law practice has been keeping me extremely busy. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in and supporting me. Everybody who gave me super chats on this channel, on my episode today. I truly, truly appreciate it. All right, I am going to, Axe bless you as well. I'm going to get ready to go to bed. So check out my other channel, Thank you for tuning in. Chief, I got to get with you soon. I love you guys. Joe the Lawyer out.